Hi, I'm Rashad Phillips, and I'm excited to talk about March Madness. Yes, we have a lot of basketball left, but I want to kind of recap and get everybody caught up in all this wonderful excitement that we've been witnessing. We're going to talk about what teams have impressed me. We're going to give you the top 5 players thus far. We're going to talk about if I can keep my winning streak going in this capper contest that I'm in right now. We're going to talk about why mid-major teams are not intimidated by high major teams. So we're going to get into all of that today. First thing I want to talk about is the teams that have really impressed me, and that's been the lower seeded teams. It's been the Oregon States, it's the Syracuse, it's the Ohio, it's the Oral Roberts. It's been those teams that have really impressed me in this tournament so far. Why are mid-major teams so prepared for March Madness? That's the question that I've been receiving over the last couple of days. And my answer is really simple. I think it's non-conference scheduling is what prepares mid-major teams for March, in the month of March. So for an example, let's take a team like Oral Roberts. They're going to the Sweet 16. And if you look at their non-conference schedule, you can tell that this coaching staff was preparing their team for a late push in March, and we're witnessing it right now. So let's look at Oral Roberts' non-conference schedule. They played Wichita State, they played Oklahoma, they played Oklahoma State, and Max Asemus had 33 points against Oklahoma State. Go back and watch that tape. He was just tremendous there. They played Missouri, and guess what? Oral Roberts lost all of those games. But when you look at the big picture and what that coach and his staff was doing for Oral Roberts, they were setting the table for their team now. So that's why I believe mid-major teams are unfazed when you line them up across a high major team, because now they're prepared for those moments. March Madness, when you talk about that, the word March Madness, it's lived up to all of the expectations. Again, you look at a team like Ohio, that I saw earlier in the season really have their way with the Illinois team, even though they lost that game. But watching Jason Preston against Illinois kind of gave me all the foresight that I needed um, to pick them in March to beat Virginia. But on top of that, let's go back to Oral Roberts and their victories over Ohio State and also Florida. When you look at what this team brings to the table, they're just well equipped to play against any type of style. Max Aseman is the best scorer in college basketball, and not because he's a gunner. He just plays the game the right way and he does it efficiently. So that's what I love about Oral Roberts. They're just prepared. But Oregon State has been tremendous. This is a team that just punches you in the mouth. They don't care who you are. As soon as you throw the ball up, they're letting you know that it's going to be a fight. Syracuse has been fantastic. And one thing about Syracuse that is intriguing about them when you play this team in March is that a lot of teams are not accustomed to playing against that type of zone. It may look easy and simple to solve on tape, but when you get out there and you see those long, lanky, quick wings cutting off those gaps and forcing you to take these long range shots, it's really difficult to play against. So my hats off to the Syracuse Orangemen team, a team that a lot of people didn't think should have got in, but their style of play really fits March, and we saw that in their win over West Virginia. And Buddy Boeheim is just as big time as a player that you're going to see in this tournament. Let's Here's a question that I've been asked. I want to kind of dig deeper into this because I think that people need to hear this. Why are mid-major teams not intimidated of high major teams? So I want to dig into that and kind of give it to you from a former player who was a mid-major player and kind of take you in the mind of how we think when we step in between the lines of a high major team. So there's two things I want to talk about to answer this question. This may be a long-winded answer, but you may want to hear this. Development and hunger. Those two words I want to focus on, and why mid-major teams and players look forward to playing high major teams and why they're not intimidated. So from a development stage, I believe that the high major teams are starting to struggle with the development stage. And there's a reason why. A lot of high major teams get by solely off their talent. So they're able to beat teams just by being more talented than the opposing team. But when you look at mid-major teams, I just believe that they have talent as well, but they're more inclined to really work at their craft, to mix their craft and their talent together, and then you get production. But let's talk about that word hunger, because I believe the word hunger plays a lot into this as well. From a mid-major standpoint, there's been a lack of hunger from high major schools over the years. And I think it's because when you get to a Duke or a Kentucky, those type of high major schools, I believe that there's a false sense of security that kid has because they feel entitled that they've made it, opposed to a kid that's at a mid-major school that knows that they have not made it. There's more to go after. So when you combine the development of the mid-major college programs and the hunger of the mid-major programs, you mix that in against the lack of development of the high majors and the lack of hunger. That's why you're seeing these mid-major teams beating these high major teams. This is why Texas lost to Abilene Christian. This is why Virginia lost to Ohio. This is why Florida lost to Oral Roberts. This is why Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts. This is why Purdue lost to North Texas, because those things I named, the hunger and the development, is at a higher level at the mid-major level. Because let me break it down more for you guys. When you, as a mid-major player, man, there's a little bit of enviousness that goes through your veins when you're a mid-major player, because you feel that the high major teams have something that you've always dreamed of. So there's a little bit of envy there, not a personal envy towards the actual person, but we envy what you have. We envy that you're in those great facilities, that you get to play in front of 15,000 fans, that you get all the social media views, that you get all the attention, and people say you're an NBA player. Mid-major players, we envy that. So we can't wait to line up across from you. We can't wait for it. A lot of people think that these games are upsets, but to me, these games are not upsets. These games are revenge. And that's how I'm able to pick certain teams to beat other high major teams, because I know what's inside of those kids. They're not afraid. They've waited for the moment to line up across from you, because you're a high major kid and I want something that you have that I've been working for. That's why a kid like Ja Morant takes advantage of his opportunity when he plays in March Madness against Marquette. That's why a kid like Max Asmus plays his heart out against Ohio State. This is why Jason Preston plays his heart out against Virginia. These kids have waited for these moments their entire lives to line up across from you. So there's zero fear. If there's any fear, it's coming from the other side, because the mid-major teams are not the hunted. They're the hunter. Remember that when you're watching March Madness. So I want to move on. I'm feeling good. Hey, watching these kids. So I wanted to kind of give you my top 5 players going into the Sweet 16. And I'm gonna start from 5 and count and work my way up. So let's start at number 5. I like Davion Mitchell from Baylor. This kid is a terrific combo guard. He does a great job of picking and choosing when he wants to get his own shot and when he wants to facilitate and allow his teammates to play well. He's a fantastic defender. He's very tough, and he's one of the main reasons why I believe Baylor will be going all the way to the national championship. At number 4, I got Buddy Boeheim from Syracuse. I mean, come on. Are we watching this kid? This kid is a fantastic shooter. He has a great fundamental base about how he plays the game. He gets to his spots. He doesn't waste dribbles. He has terrific range on his jump shot. And that's what's going to continue to give Syracuse hope with the play that he's shown so far. At number 3, Max Asmus from Oral Roberts. This kid is what I call a 4-level hybrid guard. He's still the most dangerous player in March. The way he approaches the game, he leads the nation in scoring, but not just that, it's the way he leads the nation in scoring. He does it efficiently. He has great speed. He understands how to get to his spots. He understands how to get his shot off over bigger defenders, and it's worked well for him. And I believe Oral Roberts has a chance to continue to move further if he continues to play that way. At number 2, we're going to talk about Jason Preston from Ohio. Look, this kid is as poised of a basketball player that you will see in this tournament. He's like a strong Wi-Fi signal. And his teammates, the closer you are to him, your Wi-Fi goes up. That's how he elevates his guys. He has a magnetism about himself. He doesn't press the issue. He understands time and situation. He knows how to deliver the ball. He scores it. He's a better athlete than what he's given credit for. Ohio does a terrific job of using him in DHOs and also putting him in the post and allowing him to play against smaller guards. I really love this kid's chances at the NBA level. If you're an NBA team, look at Jason Preston, because he is one of those kids that you want in your locker room and to groom to be an NBA guard. My number 1 player is going to be Evan Mobley, the hybrid post from USC. Like, this kid is just really good. He has a terrific motor. He has a nonchalant greatness about him. He's a great shot blocker, great interior defender. And when you look at a lot of bigs in today's game, if you can't defend the ball screen as a big, you're going to really struggle at the next level. Evan Mobley has displayed that talent that he could play against the ball screens, switch on different styles of offensive players, and really hold his own. So that's what I like. USC, you have a real one in Evan Mobley. Now let's get into my picks, because I'm feeling really excited. What I've been doing thus far. Before March Madness started, I picked Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State. That happened. I picked Ohio to beat Virginia. That happened. I picked Abilene Christian to beat Texas. That happened. So I'm feeling confident, hoping that I can keep this winning streak alive in this capper contest. I mean, it's very competitive. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying all of it. And I can't wait to do it again next year. So on behalf of the capper contest and Pickswise.com, I'm Rashad Phillips, and we'll do this again. Talk soon.